bit last year, and we're able to be okay. Did want to bring up that I am doing something unique this year by going to a national HR conference in June, and using a chunk of our education budget for that, for our department. Last year we used it towards educational materials and whatnot that we still have and use. This coming year, I mean, if we're looking for cuts, I guess that's an area we could look at. But one of the things that I was hoping is to give Josh some opportunity to do some training. This year I took advantage of the national one because it's Las Vegas and it's easy, right, to go there. Not that expensive comparatively. But there's some other stuff we could maybe do that's more local and can keep within budget for this coming year. Keep the budget flat for the B budget. There are a couple things I wanted to talk to you about for your consideration. We have a lot of personnel files in storage over by the coroner. I did a couple, got a quote for what it would take to scan and get, so we could get rid of those, right, and get them in a digital format. And the quote I got back was between $6,000 and $7,000 from a company. We would have to, on top of that, buy some boxes to kind of box it up and get it there, or box it up, and they would pick it up and take it and scan it and index it. So that's been a project we've talked about for years, but just haven't gotten to. So it kind of depends on where your list of priorities would be if we want to take care of that this year or not.
How quickly could they get it done?
Quick. We would buy. I was telling them I was imagining next fiscal year, but I don't have an exact time frame. But they sound like they're ready to go as soon as we could get them in boxes.
And then how long do we have to keep the HR records for?
Depends on the document itself, right? We have a big 5-page retention form that discusses, whether it's a retirement document versus an I-9 versus other things. And there's most of the documentation though is 7 years, and if we keep most of it for 7 years, then destroy it could be okay.
So if you digitize everything, then you wouldn't have to have any more storage in the short term.
Yeah.
Because you just get rid of it after that, right?
That's right.
Okay.
And then we could do set it up so we could do a termination schedule, a digital one too, and just be easy.
Okay.
So that's one project that would take some resources to consider. The other one would be, as we're talking about training, and I think given what John's telling me about using internal resources, we may not go this direction, but I thought I'd at least share it with you. I've talked to Angie Leon, plus another organization that has a library of online trainings. And you could pay for licenses for that. And these libraries have 30,000 different types of trainings. A lot of them would be safety. I was thinking of it and originally shopping for it because of safety-oriented courses we could do and put our people through. But they have everything from business skills to IT to all sorts of things. Probably a bit overkill, but that is an option on the table as we're thinking about maybe even groups of employees that we may want to get licenses for to do something like that. That comes in at about $84 a year for a license.
Per person?
Per license, yeah. So it's a bit expensive, and that's something.
There might be, you might be able to cut some kind of deal for a group of individuals or something. I'd be interested in learning more about that.
Okay.
I think with the library that Angie was talking about, it takes your training per employee down to, what was the number? I can't remember off the top of my head.
Well, it was $84 per license if we did everybody.
Okay.
But so it's kind of priced on volume. So if we did a smaller group, it would be a little more expensive per license.
Okay.
One of the good things about that is we would have a lot of control about, it would be a learning management system as well, right? So we could put employees into groups based on job requirements or departments or however we wanted to. And we could assign trainings to those groups and track if they're doing them and whatnot. We have, currently we're using iCrimp to do a little bit of that. We're stepping into that, but these systems would be more, there's a lot more control and bells and whistles and great things you can do than what, because they're made for that, and iCrimp's not. So anyway, so that's something that for your consideration and maybe further discussion.
Well, I'd absolutely want to learn more about it.
Okay, good.
Just to go back to your scanning,
Yeah,
if we could find the $7,000 this year, I'd just put it in this year's budget. It's something, let's talk with Christie and identify some funds. We got a room out there that we can't utilize.
right.
I mean, because it's old documents. And let's clean the place out. I mean,
Get into the 21st century.
there's so much more that we could be doing out there, and we could, even if we have to sell them files or whatever, to recoup parts of it. But that room out there, it's a waste of space.
Okay.
So
I agree.
I'd just soon not even wait until next year if we could do that. Time management's just as important there.
Okay, yeah, I mean, it's just something that needs to get done eventually, yeah. So, but my HR budget,
No, we
I
can,
I don't even think we have 4,000 in our B budget.
no, it's something that we can identify.
Okay,
Talk to Christie, let's identify
okay,
county funds. Let's,
okay.
we can push that off and put it in a
There might
budget.
be a lot more files that we can do that are in other locations as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
Yeah.
clerk has just
I was
did
gonna
a
say, there's
big,
a bunch over across the street.
and there, yeah. So
There's a bunch on the other side of this wall.
True.
there are, yeah. So those are just some, I know we want to try to keep it flat. They're not really high dollar items. They've just kind of been lingering. Otherwise, I'm not really asking for anything for the budget for HR. Part of what I am responsible for is also the iCrimp budget, and that's, we do what we can to get every discount that we can. We've already qualified for, the upcoming one. Last time they made us have every single person get trained in a respectful workplace, the managers get trained. They're not requiring that this year, thank goodness. So, and then the health insurance.
Well, the target kept changing last year too, didn't it? I mean, if we had one target and then all of a sudden it was 100% before you get this discount.
We were trying to get away from that, but we got it. Yeah. And then the health insurance costs, I'm sure they're going to go up. So we'll want to watch that and plan accordingly. It's just when you talk about inflation, health insurance across the state, we should keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
So that's budget wise, all I have.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you. Let's go ahead and go into executive session.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we enter into executive session under Idaho Code 74-2061 A and B.